All right. Hi, my friends. We are going to do rate stories. So these questions, you're going to be given a rate, and you need to understand and what they're asking for. Again, it's a very common question for the free response. And let's see what it looks like. So from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., the rate at which vehicles arrive at a certain toll plaza is given by this equation. Right away, it's a calculator question, right? Number one. Take out your calculator, press pause if you need to. And let's do this together. So I'm going to clear what I have. Let's start fresh. All right, press tab. And again, we need to make sure we type it in correctly. Sometimes I go too quick. You probably knew that already. And we can't use T, we're going to use X. Did I type it in okay? It don't need the 0 in front. Alright, I like it. Okay, so now I just have to go F1 instead of typing that in again. So now it's in the calculator, now I can feel better. Alright, and A is measured in vehicles per hour. And traffic is flowing smoothly at 5 a.m., no vehicles waiting in line. Say write but don't evaluate an integral expression that gives the total number of vehicles that arrive from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if you are given a rate and you're asked for a total number, they're asking you to integrate this. So we're going to integrate it. It already tells you the bounds from 1 to 5. And I just need to write this down. I actually don't have to write down the whole ugly equation, just A at t dt, and it says don't evaluate it. That's it. You just did the first one. It can be that simple. Part B, find the average value. That again is what? It's an integration question, right? So again, we're going to integrate from 1 to 5, what we just did, A at t dt. And then I'm going to divide by the difference of the bounds for average value. Now we're going to type this in. Oops, I did that wrong. Let me go back. I wanted to go control divide. There we are. Control divide. Then I'm going to go menu calculus and integral. And it goes from 0 to 5. We already typed it in, so it's F1. At x dx, and then 5 take away 1, that's 4. Control enter, and there you go. And so the average value, again, 3 numbers after the decimal, 433.782, and then we need a unit. Which is vehicles per hour. So on average, what's the average value of the rate? So the answer is a rate, which is vehicles per hour. And how do you find the average value? All right, is the rate at which the vehicles arrive at 6 a.m. increasing or decreasing? So if you want to know if a rate is increasing or decreasing, you take the derivative of the rate. So can I take the derivative of this rate at what time? At 6 a.m. and 6 a.m. is when t equals 1. Use your calculator. So again, I'm going to go menu, calculus, derivative at a point, and it's at 1. And then I just got to go F1 at x, control enter. And what am I looking for? So I'm going to write it down. I'm looking to see if it's a positive value or a negative value. So the answer is the rate is increasing. Why? Because, and you can say the derivative at 1 is positive. That's simple enough, or greater than 0. D. This is going to be the tricky one, right? So it's okay. We're going to take our time. A line forms whenever that rate is greater than 400. The number of vehicles in a line at time t from A, which we don't know, to 4 is given by this equation, where A is the time when a line first begins to form. The nearest whole number. Find the greatest number of vehicles in line at the toll plaza in that interval from A to 4. So this is going to be a table of values question. To find the greatest, or this is really the maximum value. We're going to take the derivative of this and make it equal to 0 and solve it. So the derivative of this, when you take the derivative of an integration, they cross out. A is just a number. So t, this becomes what's the fundamental theorem of algebra, right? Fundamental theorem of calculus, part 2, where it's just a substitution question. So when you take the derivative of this, it's just going to be a at t, and the derivative of 400 minus 400. So that they cross out, you plug it in and just copy what you see with t instead of x. Make that equal, and then add 400. And then it's when a at t equals 400, and then solve that equation. So a at t is like what we have in our equation. Okay, so we're gonna, again, this one's the tricky one, but think of how much what we did before that. All right, we're gonna go menu algebra solve, and what we're solving is f1 at x equals 400, comma x. And I get 10 point between, let's try that again. It's between 1 and 4. So let's try this again, but now I'm going to put a restriction on it. And it's between the answers I get. There it is. So there are multiple answers here because it's a trigonometry one. So I needed to put a restriction to it between 0 and 4. So the answers I get are there, 1.469. So I'm going to do this, a table of value here. So one is going to be 1.469, and the other one, what was the other answer? 3.597. And then the ends, so that's a possibility for A, and then also 4. And then I'm going to plug it into this equation here and see which one gives me the greatest answer. So A is the time, this is really what A is, in terms of the time where it first begins to form, when in terms of that. I know, it's a little confusing. So the first one, when I integrate, and that A value is 1.469, this will give me the answer 0. Here, I want to integrate. So I'm going to go menu, calculus integral from A, which is 1.469, to T, which is 3.597. And then this is F1 at X. Subtract 400. I'm not going to retype it always in from here. And I got 71.254. Now we'll do the same thing. I'm going to go and highlight, press enter, and then change 3.597 to 4. And you get 62.338. So then the question is, find the greatest number of vehicles in line. And here, there's nobody in line, 71 in line, and then 62 in line. So the greatest number of vehicles is, and if you is 71 vehicles, because you can't have 0.25 vehicles. Now here's a good lesson. You did A good, you did B good, you did C good. D was a son of a gun. It's okay. Like, can you move on? And again, my advice usually is do part D at the end when you have time. And then go to the next, make sure you answer part A, part B, part C first in all of them, and then go to that son of a gun, part D, and do the best you can. All right. Mr. G Math over and out. I'm going to do one question at a time. Until next time.